So why do we top dress our lawns? Well, there's a few reasons. The first is to level out any little humps and bumps that you have in your lawn. Often where the postman rides his motorbike every day, you want to level out that lawn. It's also a great way to feed your lawn. And the best time of year to do this is in the spring. So say August, September, October and into early November before it gets too hot. So you can feed your lawn, you can level out the humps and bumps, and many good lawns that you see around the place are the ones that have been top dressed. So let's go through the stages of what you need to do to top dress your lawn. So the first thing we're going to do is get Ashley to mow the lawn very lightly. Not a shave, not a really heavy mow, just a light mow to take the new growth off. So Ashley run through that and then I'll show you how long the grass really should be. So now Ashley has finished the mow, but as I said before, it's only a light mow. We still need some depth to the grass, as you can see next to my fingers here. Because when we do top dress, we want the soil particles or the sand particles to drop down between the blades of grass and not bury it. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of depth to the grass, which is all we meant was a light mow. Okay, so we've had our soil delivered, the top dressing's here, and Trevor's now filling the barrow to distribute it around the lawn in even little piles so that we can spread it out. I'd like you to have a look. This is the type of material that you want to use for your top dressing. Very finely screened. There's no large chunks of bark or stone in this. So we put this through a triple screening process through piano wire, which is virtually 4 to 5 mil apart, so it takes out all the waste material. So it's got sand in it, it's got manure in it, so it will feed your lawn as well as fill out any of those little humps and bumps. This is called special blend top dressing, and it is our special blend. Okay, so what we've got now is Trev distributing the top dressing around the lawn in small convenient piles. Not too big, because this has all got to be shoveled and spread around, so you don't want to make extra work for yourself. So you can see he's just going small piles, which will make it easier to spread with the rake or the soil leveler that we'll show you in just a minute. So this is how we want it laid out. Small little piles around the lawn, and maybe don't even do the whole lawn first because your judgment might not be exact. So do a section as we've done here, and now we'll spread this out and see if there are any gaps or if we've got a little bit too much in some places. So that's the first stage, spreading the soil in small piles. Now, the first piece of equipment that we use is a very high-tech piece called a steel rake. But this time I wanted to use it upside down, and as Trevor will show you now, it's a great way of pushing and pulling the soil around and getting a nice even surface across the grass without whipping into the surface with these pointy edges. So over to you, Trev. So you can see now this is not the finished surface. We're just roughly spreading out the small piles to make sure that we've got the right amount of soil in the areas on the lawn. Okay, the next tool that we're going to use is called a soil leveler, which is just like a metal grate on a swivel on the end of a handle. And now that Trevor has roughly spread out the piles of soil using the upturned steel rake, now we'll show what can happen then when you push this back and forth across the lawn. The weight of the grid helps the soil to rattle down through the blades of grass and give you so you can see now the soil is dropping through the blades of grass, still leaving the tops poking out. The final piece of equipment that you could use when top dressing the lawn is this very glamorous piece of equipment, the old plastic garden rake. And what I find this useful for is around the edges of the lawn where you just want to get a little bit of extra soil and bring it right up close to the pavers. That way then you can get a perfect finish to your top dressing lawn. So the three tools that you can use are the plastic rake, the metal soil leveler, and the steel garden rake upturned for pushing your soil back and forth around the garden. Now, I've mentioned before how it's important not to top dress too deeply. And you can see here, where Trevor's been over this lawn, that the grass is poking through. But if we look over here, if I saw a lawn like that,
yeah.
But if someone top dressed their lawn like this, you can see, you can't see the grass. And if you just think for a minute that the grass needs sunlight to grow, and if you bury it too deeply in a top dressing, you'll starve it of sunlight and it will probably die. So if you're top dressing and it's this deep, make it thinner. Shake it around so that you can see the grass poking through. It has to have the grass poking through. I can't stress that strongly enough. Don't make the top dressing too deep. So probably the most common question we get asked then is, well, how much top dressing soil do I need? Obviously that can vary slightly depending on how long your grass is, but a great rule of thumb is if you're going to put the top dressing 1 centimeter deep, then you will need 1 cubic meter for every 100 square meters of lawn. Now, if your grass is a bit longer than that and you want to go a little bit deeper, order a little bit more. But it's a great rule of thumb to work 1 cubic meter for 100 square meters at 1 centimeter deep. So once the job is done and you're satisfied that you've got a nice thin level of top dressing, it's time to give it a water in. Now here we're fortunate enough to have sprinklers. If you use a hose or a manual sprinkler, that's fine, but water the top dressing in so again it settles it down to the base of the grass, and then you'll have the ideal lawn. If you're not going to top dress your lawn, it'll definitely need a good feed in the springtime, ready for that summer growth. And one of the best fertilizers that you can use is this one here called Eco 88. Now this is one that you could even apply before you top dress. So if you do have a need to level out some humps and bumps, but you feel that your needs a good kick start for the spring, then Eco 88 is a great fertilizer to use. Now, what I can show you here, if you can see the white speckles in it and also the dark brown ones, what that shows you is that this is a blend between an organic fertilizer and a chemical fertilizer. The beauty of that is that the white chemicals in there, which is mainly nitrogen, gives your lawn a quick hit of food, followed up then by the slow release of the organic matter. So look out for Eco 88. A small bag like this will cover nearly 300 square meters, so it's quite an economical way to feed your lawn ready for the spring and the summer months.